football. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, konnichiwa to all my Japanese viewers out there. You guys probably don't speak English, but konnichiwa from the USA, the good old USA. Yeah, man, I wanted to talk about Naoya Inoue because this is a guy that I can't stop talking about, and it's been this place for a long time here on True School Sports, going all the way back to like 2016. I've been talking about the Naoya Inoue before it was ever a popular thing to do, or before it ever got me views. I was talking about Inoue, so got a lot of time for him because he's a great fighter, and I truly believe is one of the only special talents in the sport right now. Just being honest, there's not many guys you could call in boxing masters of boxing, or like the top guys in their profession, guys who are truly special that come around once in a handful of years, 10 years or 15 years or so. But he's one of them kind of talents. But anyway, I was sent this article from one of my subscribers, and it was an article from none other than Yahoo Japan, and I had to like translate it into English. And as you guys know, when it comes to any language, when you translate one language to the other, it may sound a bit funny, and you may have to read it about 20 times to really work out what the article and what the sentences are trying to say to you. So I translated it to English, and I'll leave the article in the description for you guys, so you can read it for yourself. But I'm gonna tell you guys what I took from the article. So the article in English, if you retranslate it, is titled "Super Bantamweight Conversion Naoya Sudden Fulton negotiating with a very motivated partner." That's how it translates from Japanese to English. But anyway, basically, I'm not gonna read it because it won't make any sense. But what I took from it was basically that Inoue's one of the guys in his team. The very famed former world champion Hideki Ohashi from the very world famous Ohashi boxing gym, where we know Naoya Inoue spars and does a lot of his work. He was talking to the press about organizing Naoya Inoue's next fight. And obviously the fight we want to see him over all the fights at 122 is him versus Stephen Fulton, and fingers crossed we get that fight. But there are some moving pieces at 122, and maybe Inoue may want to get a fight in at 122 before fighting a guy like Stephen Fulton. So basically what Ohashi stated was that they are currently in negotiations with a very motivated opponent. They didn't specify who that opponent was, but we know for a fact it's not Marlon Tapales or Merjan Akmandalia, because he has a mandatory defense due against Marlon Tapales. And then as for Stephen Fulton, we just heard recently that Brandon Figueroa and Mark Sayo are supposed to fight, so he's not fighting one of those guys. So maybe behind the scenes, fingers crossed. I can only hope that maybe now that Figueroa and Mark Sayo are fighting, supposedly they're saying I think it was I got it right here in front of me. Mark Sayo and Figueroa are supposed to fight March 4th in a date to be determined. So since there's no Figueroa-Fulton rematch, which means that Fulton, to our knowledge, is free. So I would love to think that they're negotiating with Fulton, but I'm going to be the pessimistic boxing fan I am, and just protect myself right now and be a little realistic. I don't think it's Fulton, honestly. I don't know who it is, but I can sit here and speculate till the cows come home, and that's exactly what we're gonna do here on True School Sports. So that's what it is. They are in negotiations with his next opponent at 122 for his first opponent at 122, and they're saying that it is a very motivating opponent. Now, apart from Stephen Fulton, if I had to take a guess as to who this opponent could be potentially, right? Who on God's earth could be this first opponent at 122 for Naoya Inoue? Now, I would hope that it's a guy like Aleem, because the beast Aleem, 27-2, 14 knockouts, top contender. My bad, he's not 27-2. Mike Plania, who he beat, is 27-2. Aleem is 20-0 with 12 knockouts. So let me correct myself. But the beast Aleem has never suffered a loss. He's been a top contender for a while. He's coming off of a really good win against Mike Plania. And he's been picking up a number of good wins. In his last 5 fights, you look at some of the names he's beaten, guys like Adam Lopez and Vic Pasillas and Mike Plania. He's shown himself to be a consistent challenger, a consistent contender in this weight class. He's not gonna ooh you, ah you, Aleem. He's gonna be who he is in that ring. He's gonna come forward. He's gonna, fight a very intelligent, pressure type of a fight, and he's going to be consistent throughout the rounds. But he does what he does well, and that's why he's still 20-0 with 14 knockouts. But listen, I know a lot of us want we want Fulton to be calling out Inoue, but Aleem is calling out Inoue. And here's what Aleem is saying about fighting the monster. He stated the following, and I quote, "I would love to be the first man to hand Naoya Inoue his first loss. I believe Inoue is a true champion, one who is willing to take on all comers, unlike some of the champions in my division currently." And that's a shot at Stephen Fulton. He said, he is regarded as one of the best fighters of his era, and I truly see myself as the man to dethrone him. Aleem's manager and CEO of Prince Ranch Boxing, Greg Hanley, stated the following, and I quote, "We want this fight as soon as possible. All good things have come to an end, and Aleem is ready to become a legend, and to do that, he must beat one. We're ready to talk. This is a very makeable fight. Let's give the fans what they want to see," end quote. So, if I had to make a guess, an educated guess, an inference as to who is this motivated opponent that Inoue could be negotiating with, I'm thinking it might be Aleem. Now, I could be wrong. I have to talk to my boy. I do know his coach. So, Bobby, if you're here, if you see this video, Bobby, Coach Bobby McCroy, in the comments, kindly let us know if there are negotiations about your fighter taking on Naoya Inoue. I think it'd be a good fight. Aleem, listen, Aleem's been a guy that's been teetering around, he's top contender. He hasn't got his shot at the brass ring or a world title yet, so he wants to get his chance to show what he can do. And listen, we could all have our assumptions as to what he could do against Fulton or Inoue, but we don't know until he actually gets in the ring and gets his shot. I know for a fact that Aleem wanted the fight with Fulton. Fulton, I guess, from what we know now, is free, so maybe Heyman makes a fight with Aleem and Fulton, and Inoue will have to do something else in the intermediate time. But if his quotes here and in the past still ring true and Fulton isn't trying to fight him, then it is what it is. He wants to prove himself. I know that Aleem has made quite a name for himself in boxing and in the gyms in Las Vegas and things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he could do. I'm looking forward to seeing hopefully him get a shot. And I think, listen, he'd be the ideal first test for Inoue. I mean, undefeated guy, top contender, a guy that's going to come to win, a guy that believes he can win. And listen, if Inoue can pass that test of flying colors, then the Fulton fight obviously should be something that's more makeable because he's a guy in the Al Heyman stable. He's a top contender, and that's just what it is. But obviously as well, and I'll end the video on this note, I don't have selective memory and I don't have amnesia. Inoue was declared super champion at 118. Meaning that if he really wanted the fight next, him and his team and his handlers, if they wanted the fight next, all parties involved, they could petition with the WBO to get that title shot Fulton right away. So we're gonna hold Inoue's feet to the fire, and we're gonna call a spade for what it is. He needs to go out there and try to get that Fulton fight right away if he wants it right away. And if he doesn't want it right away, okay, go ahead and fight Raees Aleem. Dip your toes in the water. If you can beat a guy like him, which I think would be a great first win for him if he can get it, because Aleem's not gonna come to lay down. Then all of a sudden, now you can be viewed as a legitimate, full-fledged super bantamweight fighter. So yeah, that's the news, man. That's the news that I took from the Japanese article on Yahoo. I'll leave it in the description for you guys so you can read it for yourself. And yeah, Raees Aleem's calling out Naoya Inoue. He wants to make his legacy and make his mark in the sport. So make of that what you will. Leave your comments down below. Shout out to all my viewers. In the USA and Japan. I've been getting a lot of Japanese traffic because these Inoue videos tend to do very, very well. So shout out to him. Shout out to the fine folks in Japan and all around the world that make True School Sports what it is. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.